Good evening. Do I have audio? Yes, I've got audio. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today's a sad day. I'm sure everybody knows by now. Andrew Yang dropped out of the campaign yesterday. As we awaited the results for New Hampshire, I was at my house. Or maybe I was on the road, and I was watching the Problem Solver Politics stream, and I'm looking at the window because they have like the actual results in, and a bulletin or whatever comes up that Andrew Yang is set to drop out, and I'm like, is this for real? It's legit. Turned over to Twitter. I saw the live stream on the Zach and Matt show. It's official. Yang has dropped out of the 2020 presidential race. And I just wanted to come out and address you guys officially as the Yang Gang, math shirt and all. It was it was sad, you know what I mean. But first of all, I just want to thank all of you guys. Uh, in 2019, I was a guy who lost an incredible opportunity to shoot a Netflix show. This channel is called Humanity Films. I was at a point where I didn't know where my filmmaking career was heading. I was lost. I was beginning this spiritual journey, and after losing my opportunity to shoot this show, I decided I wanted to start making videos on this channel again. This is my old channel. This is my first YouTube channel. Been making videos here for 6 years. This really is what got me into filmmaking, and I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. And I saw this. I started. I've been following, entrepreneurship. My personal story into entrepreneurship, which is becoming a full time freelance filmmaker, and I had felt like I had led people down a path to pursue these dreams and these opportunities, but I was getting concerned about automation, and automation was something that I had always talked about. I'd always hinted at, but there was never someone as eloquent and as well positioned and as highly regarded as an Andrew Yang to take that message and put it into a context that many Americans could understand. And as I was just casually looking for quotes, because I always use quotes in my content, I've always been kind of a research based guy. I discovered this Andrew Yang guy. It was shortly after the Joe Rogan interview. He had already kind of exploded online, but I didn't know who he was. I didn't know his platform. I didn't know what I had found, and I didn't know where it would take me. And I decided to make this video, kind of letting my followers know, hey, I'm going to start following this political campaign. I don't know where it's going to take me. I'm just letting you guys know this direction that I'm headed down. That video was embraced by the Yang Gang. It brought me into this world. It introduced me to many of you, and so began this just this time, this opportunity. Not even opportunity. This just I stopped doing what I thought I needed to do as a filmmaker, uh, as a creator, and I just started doing what I wanted to do. And you guys were there for me. You know what I mean? You guys welcomed me. I became a member of the Yang Gang. I made content. I tried to be as involved as I could with the campaign. I was in Oklahoma. I knew my contribution would probably be best. I mean, if I couldn't be out active, a lot of you guys are in those big cities where there's a bunch of Yang Gang rallies and things like that. I'm in a red state. Not a ton of stuff going on, but I tried to do what I could here. But that message of humanity first, I really started to embrace that. You know what I mean? It really fit where I was in my life. It really felt fit where I was in my journey, and I stopped doing things that I thought I needed to do, and I just kind of let my heart take me where I needed to go. And I guess I kind of it was amazing. You know what I mean? This ride was incredible. being a part of something bigger than myself is incredible. And I think I kind of found where I need to be in the world. And at some point, I changed this channel from Hustle and Film to Humanity Films because I knew that there was a possibility this campaign might end one day, and I didn't want it to end. I knew that this is perhaps my calling. I don't know what it's going to be exactly, but Humanity Films, the channel will continue. Humanity Films, the message, me as a creator, I'm not going anywhere. I can't, I just feel like this campaign is bigger than Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang opened our eyes, and we have to go forward. Now, I want to first apologize for not being the creator that I'm going to be in 2024. I want to apologize for not being as prepared for all of this and not having a plan. And I talked to one of my friends yesterday, and he said we should have went to Iowa. And I apologize for not going to Iowa. Not because I told you guys I was going to go. It's just we all got kind of swept up into this thing. Like I didn't start out to become a influencer or a member of the Yang Gang or anything like that. I was just making videos on what I wanted to make videos on. But I wish that I had just trusted the process and trusted the path that was being put before me, because honestly, everything that's happened over the last 6 months or so, it was supposed to happen. I didn't really have a plan, but I just did what I thought made sense to me. And for the most part, the universe provided. I was shooting music videos with rappers with guns 6 months ago. That's what I was known for. That's where people know my work. And for the last 2.5 months, I haven't shot one music video. Everything that has happened as far as professionally has just been humanity first type work. Like, I've literally just been shooting positive work for the last 3 months. I haven't sought out that type of work. I just stopped chasing things that I didn't want to do. And miraculously, it's worked out. And I wish that I had done the same thing with Iowa. I wish I had just went and I just figured it out. And I remember I was sitting there, I was looking at my plane ticket, and I was like, okay, well, that's not going to be that bad. It's $300, whatever. But then I realized, man, I got a family, and I started thinking about, man, I'm going to have to, I drop my kid off and I pick him up every single day, so I'm gonna have to drop him off for that. So that's gonna cost me this money and that money and this money and that money. I was like, man, I'm not rich and I'm running a business, but I just wish that I was in a position at that time to just go and not think about it. And that is my apology to you, because in 2024, that's where we're gonna be. In 2024, Humanity Films will have made several projects that are humanity based. I don't want to be relegated to just a commentator. I'm going to have film projects done that speak to humanity. We're going to talk about issues that Andrew Yang brought into our life over the last 2 years. And we're going to make film projects based around those things. And you guys are more than welcome to stick around for that. And you can provide me stories. You know what I mean? If you know of a story that you think I might be able to put together in, a day or two, I can come out to your hometown. We can do that. We want to keep this message alive. Humanity first it's a powerful message. It's an important message. And it's the message that we're going to need going forward. Now, I've talked to a bunch of people about the future, and people have asked me to do different things and be a part of different things. And I'm down for whatever, man. Like I said, the Yang Gang is special to me. It's not something I can imagine not being a part of. But at the same time, I'm okay with this being a sleeper cell. Everybody can go back into their holes. You can go back to what you were doing. You can go back to just living your life. But know that there will be a time when Andrew Yang is going to come back out and he's going to announce he's running for president. And in that moment, we will need you again. You know what I mean? We weren't an organized bunch. We didn't know a lot of things. I wasn't as smart as I'm going to need to become, and I didn't know as much as I'm going to need to know. And you guys are Some of you guys are in the middle of school or you're in a transitional period or whatever. But in 4 years, you're going to be in a better position to offer something to this movement, and we're going to need you at that particular time. So I don't want anyone to hold their head down because, again, we're just a group of people who were passionate about a candidate or about an idea. So how could you know? But you will in 2024. You will know. You'll know what you need to do. You'll know how you need to do it. There were mistakes that were made. The campaign, obviously, we're a bunch of amateurs, man. This campaign is a bunch of amateurs. The Ohio thing was a mess. You know what I mean? That, to me, once the Ohio thing happened, that really told me a lot about what kind of campaign Andrew Yang was running. I've gone out, I've seen a couple other candidates, and I saw the way their operations were run compared to what Andrew Yang's rally was run. Andrew Yang's great rally. It was, the best it could be, but it definitely seemed like a pep rally compared to, seeing Mike Bloomberg or Elizabeth Warren. Like, it was different. You know what I mean? It was great that it was real and organic and wholesome, and came from a good place. But at the same time, this is a presidential campaign, and there's just certain things that have to happen a certain way. But I wasn't in a position to know what those things are. So again, I'm going to be dedicating my time and efforts and understanding to that over the next few years. I'm going to build my channel, I guess, and I'm going to have a bigger voice by then. We all are going to have a bigger voice. We're all going to be in a better place, in a bigger place, and we're just going to be ready. As far as what, thank you guys all. Could he have stayed a bit later? I was actually watching a Fox News report yesterday, and they were talking about, and this is, I didn't even think about this, but they started talking about why Bernie Sanders is probably going to win the nomination. And they basically started saying, we have all these moderates, and it's divided the field up so many different ways that it's made it extremely difficult for anyone to compete against Bernie Sanders. And hearing their explanation of it, it explains perfectly what happened. Joe Biden and none of these other moderates really had the support that Bernie Sanders had. So you see a 10%, a 12%, a 13%, a 19%, and it's just enough to make Bernie Sanders 24 to 30% destroy the field. So Andrew Yang wasn't really hurting Bernie Sanders. It was the amount of moderate candidates that were existed in the Democratic Party that made it difficult for anyone to really compete against Bernie Sanders. I mean, Bernie Sanders had the most passionate fan base, and that's why he won, or he's on the path to victory. This was a difficult race for Andrew Yang to win. We really needed someone to drop out earlier. And the reason why Andrew Yang is dropping out now is, one, he most likely sees opportunity elsewhere. He knows that he's probably not going to win, but his 2 or 3% is crucial right now for the moderate candidates. He's not far left, so he's not really competing with Bernie. I think I'm sure the establishment kind of went to him. They had a conversation, and they were just like, "Look, you're not going to win, but you're disruptive enough for us to be making this difficult for Andrew or for Bernie or for Biden or Buttigieg or Klobuchar to take that place." So he's just like, "All right, well, whatever." You know what I mean? He had no choice. You know what I mean? If someone had dropped out earlier, then sure. But this field is still just too wide open. I mean, we still have Tom Steyer in second place in South Carolina. That's a problem when we're trying to whittle the field down, and you have Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders sitting out there cruising at between 24 and 30%, which is just enough to make it look like he's destroying everybody. So people laughed at you for removing your Andrew Yang sign from your yard. So what? You know what I mean? Like so what? Again, we weren't supposed to be here. I told you guys yesterday that When Andrew Yang went on the Joe Rogan podcast, he had 34,000 followers on Twitter. That podcast put him over 150,000 followers on Twitter. Like that podcast alone. Like nobody knew who this guy was. He's been running for 2 years. Buddy, she's not here, okay? That podcast alone put him in the position to be where he is. If he had not gone on Joe Rogan, he would have been out of this race a long time ago. So we can't. He did amazing. If for as critical as I've been of Andrew Yang, it's not because I think I could have just done this way better job. It's just like we wanted him to win. But I mean, him winning was always going to be a long shot. And you guys have seen me become more realistic over time. Like I'm not going to be a cheerleader. I want to be somebody who can give you guys information that you can actually take and apply. It doesn't do you any good. You see Ben Shapiro, he says things like facts over feelings or just straight numbers. Like that's the kind of person I want to be, because it doesn't do me any good to make you guys feel really good about our state in the race when the reality is we're sitting at 3% or 4%. Like then you sound crazy when you go talk to somebody and you're like, oh no, Andrew Yang's the best candidate. Well, he might be the best candidate, but he's not winning. So why are you? I don't want you armed with information that doesn't help you to be able to tell a compelling story. In fact, the next video that I'm going to be doing here is about a Trump policy that is going to be talked about a lot. But I want to arm you with information. I don't want to just tell you things to make you feel good. Like that's not what this channel was ever intended to be. You guys saw me spend a lot of time on policy, doing research. Like I actually, feel like I did a decent job with actually doing research and tying things together. And I brought you guys, like my Obama video, or the video where we talked about who else proposed universal basic income. Like when I pointed to Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama also supporting it outside of, the Milton Friedmans and the Martin Luther Kings and things like that. Like I want to give you information that when you take it into the world, you have something new to offer the conversation, because there's going to be things that the mainstream media isn't bringing to the conversation. I'm a person who hears a and is immediately skeptical of the real information behind that fact. Like we got to understand that, when someone puts out a poll or they do research, there's usually an agenda behind that. So who's conducting that research? Why are they conducting it? What does that mean? And how does it translate? And I think the benefit of that is I've been fairly spot on lately about the rise of Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg's legitimacy, Mike Bloomberg's, being an actual problem in this race. Like I couldn't have made those, I couldn't have identified those things if I was just looking into the Yang bubble. Yes, sir. Okay. Can you guys give me one moment? I've got to get this kid a towel. One moment. Camera, please. Got no clothes on. Excuse me, dog. Go, dog. Okay. 1 second. I'm just catching up with the comments. Don't apologize. No, man. I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna be great. So don't even worry about that. I'm keeping my humanity first. Yes, keep your humanity first sign up. Keep your math pens. Like these are slogans that they don't have to end today, because this is not about like Mike can do it or or whatever the Joe Biden slogan is, which I'm sure was something ridiculous that had his name in it. Like that's not what we're about. You know what I mean? We're about humanity first. We're about changing the incentives of capitalism. We're about a path and a way. We weren't about just one guy. We rallied behind Andrew Yang because he was the vessel. But it's so weird. I even say this, like when I started my channel like 6 years ago, I always said I wanted to be Batman, and that I wanted to be a symbol. I never wanted to be like an influencer or anything like that. I just wanted to put it out in the world that certain things are possible. And that's what Andrew Yang is. He's just a symbol. You know, he's just a man. He's just a symbol. He's flawed. He might one day have a sex scandal or something like that, but it doesn't mean that that his message doesn't need to live, and that's what we need to focus on. I saw an article that perhaps he's considering running for mayor of New York. I quickly realized that there's no way he's getting offered a VP slot. Like that is just too high of a position for where he was polling. Like if he was in fourth place, that would be a possibility. But he's just too far back to be offered a VP position. But I've heard mayor of New York, which I mean, the mayor of New York is a very respectable job. It would give him the ability to be able to say that he has a real record in the next 4 years. And New York, if ever there was a place to make an impact, make a name for yourself, it's going to be New York. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. So I can definitely see him making a splash in New York. And if he were able to do anything with universal basic income or have a major significant impact on poverty over the next 4 years, that would be very beneficial to him in 2024. Now, who will become president? Well, Donald J. Trump will become president. So there's no real question. Bernie Sanders isn't winning. Okay, he's not going to win. Not because he's not a good guy, not because he doesn't have some decent ideas. It's just he can't beat Donald Trump. But that's why we just need to be prepared. I mean, I don't say I want him to win, but I kind of wouldn't mind him winning just because I know that he will fail miserably on a lot of things that he wants to do. And I think that would kind of pave the way a little bit more for an Andrew Yang, because once people see that, you know, Bernie's ideas, they sound great, but the difficulty that he would have in passing some of the things he wants to do, it might make a lot of the far left, you know, realize that, okay, you got to be, maybe not say incremental, but you have to work with like everybody, and what you're trying to do just. Hello, dear. I am live. Bloomberg made a Yang ad. No, he didn't.
Whoa, and the monster's awake?
He just got out the tub. What did you guys say? Social credits in New York would be huge. Yeah. Yeah, he needs to run for governor of California. I mean, wherever he runs, like he needs to go get some political experience. That was obviously his biggest weak point. But he needs a track record. I mean, regardless, I told you guys the reason why Bloomberg is going to become an attractive candidate is because of his ability to have like a track record, despite, you know, the blemishes that he does have. It helps to be able to say I improved this and I did that. It's just like I didn't know everything I know about Bloomberg after seeing him speak, but he's going to be able to make a compelling case, and that's just what it is. Everybody's going to have issues, you know. No one's going to be perfect, but having accomplished something is going to be huge. So yeah, let him go on and do whatever he's going to do, because we need him to go and get some experience. And make some friends. You know, he didn't have more than like two people in political office, really endorsing him. So he needs that. So the ad is all Yang. Really? Hey, Bloomberg he's going all in. Like he's committed. He's committed to winning. He's committed to spending. And I would just not be surprised if you see him. I mean, I know he's the guy they want. So that just is what it is. Candidates probably think Yang is a good asset for VP in the general election. But that's the look I get if my hubby catches me watching Yang videos. You know, don't be in the denial phase. You know, that's why I've been.
Buddy. We gotta get this bed thing going.
see your brow?
What?
Everyone see your brow? Get out of here. Keep moving, buddy. Sonny, come here. Jesus. Who do you think you will publicly announce that you're supporting, that are supporting UBI? I don't know. I don't know. As far as who I will be supporting, I made a statement on Twitter that I don't know if I think my days of being a Democrat are over. You know what I mean? I think there's value in like saying that I'm a progressive or saying that I'm a Democrat or whatever, but I can't. I don't know what I am. I've always identified myself as a free thinker because there's some things I agree with the Democrats on, there's something I agree with the Republicans on, and you guys might disagree with me. But at the end of the day, I try to bring you facts until the facts are skewed for whatever reason, and at that point, I'm willing to call those numbers out. So, whatever you guys need me to tell you that I am, sure, I'll be that. But nobody really excites me. There's nobody who deserves my vote right now. And voting for the Democratic Party after the charade that they have put on once again, that's just against my principles, so I can't support them. I'm an independent. Okay, I guess yeah. It's just hard to it's hard to rally people around being an independent. You know what I mean? Like it's easier to say I'm a progressive because then you get all the progressive people, or it's easier to say you're a Republican, you get all the Republicans. But yeah, I can't just say I'm a Democrat and blue no matter who and all that because look at what they've done. Look what they did in 2016. Look what they're doing now. Like it just, I would feel dirty just giving my vote away. Like I can't do that. When Donald Trump wins, he's going to steal Yang's idea. Listen, Donald Trump's been making some moves lately. You know, he's trying to rectify his record. He's trying to like cross off some boxes to make his record look a little bit better heading into the election. He's made some strides. He's made some attempts. So that's why I need to start discrediting his poor attempts. But at the same time, I'm not going to vote against him just because the Democrats want me to. I'm sorry. I made a video. I made an open letter to the Democratic National Party, and I told them then I wanted a fair election. I wanted everyone to have an equal shake, and that's not what we got. So don't ask me to vote against Trump. Sorry. like, not gonna vote against Trump. You know what I mean? I think as a black man, none of us can embrace either party. Exactly. You know, we can't. We got to go where we go because it's convenient. You know what I mean? If somebody's offering something, then you take that, and then when they're not anymore, then you switch it up. Like you can't have that blind allegiance. It doesn't do you any good. You just get manipulated and used for your vote, and that's it. So. I feel like my NBA team made it to the second round of the playoffs and lost. Yeah, but if your NBA team under or overperformed, then if you came into the season thought you were a lottery team and you actually made it to the playoffs, like you got to be realistic with your expectations. Like we weren't expecting this. Can you hold on? He was in the tub. How the Dems move with their corruption, it would make you sit back and be like, Trump, is Trump that bad? Yeah, man. Exactly. I'm a pacifist. I have no idea where to go. You don't have to go anywhere. Again, giving your vote away in blind allegiance isn't going to do you any good. So maybe they'll learn.
Hey.
And if not, then
What? See, why, baby? Come on. No, no. Oh, Carter. Come out of here. Please. Was that...
no.
Are you recording yourself?
Yes,
right now?
yes.
Stop sitting out on camera then. How could you not hear that?
What do you want me to do? um, do you think Trump will call on Yang? I think Trump is not as crazy as people make him seem. Do I think he would ask Yang to be in his cabinet? Sure, but the thing is, being a Trump candidate is weird. You know, everybody joins the Trump cabinet and then leaves 2 weeks later. So, what that would mean is, I don't know. I mean, we know that Yang has said that he wants to get Donald Trump out of office. He wouldn't do anything that he felt like would interfere with that. So that's just what he's doing. He's just doing what we knew he was going to do. Like, he was never going to be the reason that somebody can't beat Donald Trump. So if he I don't think he would accept a position from Donald Trump. I think that would be more likely than anything. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to make this video, let you guys know kind of where I am, what I'm going to be doing. I'm not done. I will continue to make videos. I'll probably go a little bit broader because, you know, in order to build up a stronger channel or a wider channel or reach more people outside of the process, you know, I might need to do some content that's bigger. But the goal is the same. You know, the goal is about humanity. My film projects will be about humanity. My message will be about humanity. Sleep, but in 2024, we will reawaken. You saw what Bernie Sanders was able to do with a stronger media network years later. Young Turks kind of was the only outlet that was really giving him a shot, and we saw the rise of, you know, all of these different progressive news channels that really amplified Bernie Sanders' message in 2020, 2019, 2018. They built him up, he built them up, and they pretty much came up together. You know what I mean? They're just the only one that was really big at the time was the Young Turks. The Young Turks was a big network in 2016, but that was it. You know, the rest of them, the Tim Blacks and the Humanist Reports and the Sam Cedars and all these other channels, they weren't nearly as powerful as they are today, and it took them time. So give us some time. We'll be stronger, and we'll be better, and we'll be able to go further. So with that said, I will leave you guys with the classic Andrew Yang slogan that this movement is not about going left. It is not about right. It is about forward. And that is where we're going to take the country in 2024. So feel free to stick around. If you guys want to unsubscribe from the channel, I will not be upset. I understand that, you know, Yang brought together a whole bunch of people who were not interested in politics or the Democratic Party or supporting any particular candidate. Andrew Yang came into their life and they wanted to follow him, so they followed all the channels and they subscribed and they did all that. It's okay. I'm not mad at you. I will not stop what I'm doing. So all I ask of you is to be there when I call on you at a later time. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.